Hi, my name's Wyatt Reed, co-chairman of the FEMA Region 6 Youth Preparedness Council. The FEMA Region 6 Youth Preparedness Council exists to serve all youth preparedness needs in Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and the tribal nations therein. In today's #R6Prepares training series video, members of the Westlake High School Community Emergency Response Team in Texas present the 3 killers. To learn more about this topic and others, visit r6ypc.youthprep.us. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, I'm here today with the Westlake Teen Sir yet again to teach you about the 3 killers: airway obstruction, excessive bleeding, and shock. These 3 things are the most common causes of death in an emergency situation, so knowing how to treat these will help keep you and your community safer and more prepared.
When something is obstructing the airway, it is usually the tongue. Today we will be showing you how to open the airway. The first step is for you or someone else to call 911. Next, check the person by gently shaking them and asking, "Are you okay?" If they are unconscious and don't reply, they legally give implied consent and you can proceed. Next, perform a maneuver called the head tilt chin lift by placing one hand on their forehead and the other under their chin, gently tilting back the head. Without losing this position, put your ear near their mouth and your hand that was under the chin on their abdomen. Listen for breathing, look for chest rises, and feel for abdominal movement. This should clear the airway. If it doesn't work, try again. If the airway opens and the person starts breathing, keep the airway open by placing something soft underneath the person's shoulders, like a rolled up blanket. If the airway does not open after the second time, the person is likely dead.
Oh my god, sir, are you okay? I don't think he's breathing. I'll do the head tilt chin lift. Didn't work, let me try again. This is scenario 1. He's breathing again. Now I need to maintain the airway, so I'll put this pillow under his shoulders. This is scenario 2. Oh no, his airway didn't open when I did it the second time. That means his heart isn't beating. I'll start CPR until EMS arrives.
In the case of excessive bleeding, make sure to first call 911 and then ask the survivor if you can touch them. If they say no, then you can only wait for EMS to arrive, but if they say yes, you can continue to help them. Now identify where the bleeding is coming from. This may be a bit of extra information, but there are 3 types of bleeding determined by the speed of blood flow. 1. Arterial bleeding will spurt because arteries need high blood pressure. 2. Venous bleeding will flow because veins are under low pressure. And 3. Capillary bleeding will ooze because capillaries are also under low pressure. After finding the wound, place a gauze pad or any clean cloth, preferably sterile, on the wound and firmly put pressure. Then use a longer piece of cloth or dressing and tie in a tight bow around the wound to keep the pressure. You're going to want to firmly tie in a bow because then it can be loosened and retied when it's needed to. Next, have the person lay down and help elevate their wounded extremity above their heart. Gravity will help decrease the blood flow and prevent more blood loss. Now, use pressure points to further slow bleeding. The 3 most common pressure points are 1. The brachial point in the arm, which is just above the elbow. 2. The femoral pressure point in the upper thigh. And 3. The popliteal pressure point behind the knee. Lastly, treat your person for shock and wait for EMS to arrive.
Hi, may I help you?
Yes.
Okay, I see you're bleeding right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here, and then can you hold that for me? And then I'm going to wrap this around and tie it. Now can you lay down for me? Okay, now I'm going to lift your leg and put pressure behind your knee.
Shock is a condition when the body doesn't receive the necessary blood flow and organs and blood vessels aren't getting the necessary oxygen and nutrients that they need. They will deteriorate very rapidly and when left completely untreated will shut down. Shock also develops at a very rapid pace, so you want to be able to identify the signs of a shock quickly. The first sign is that they have rapid and shallow breathing. The second sign is that they have a capillary refill of more than 2 seconds. So capillary refill is just when you press on the pad of the finger and the blood doesn't return back to the finger in less than 2 seconds. The third sign is that they are unable to respond to simple commands such as wave or say hi. So when they have all three signs of a shock, you want to first call 911. Next, you want to maintain their body temperature by placing a blanket or something underneath them and placing a shock blanket on top of them if available. You also want to raise their feet 6 to 10 inches above the ground and just keep an eye on their condition until help arrives.
Thank you for watching our video on the 3 killers. Make sure to review the material and even simulate treating these 3 things to keep you and your community safer and more prepared in case of an emergency.